Let's do this. Good morning, and welcome to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is the show where we talk about everything.
What the hell?
Well, almost. From today's news, culture, entertainment, real life, real people, and the stories everybody's talking about. And no, we don't do it in some tiny glass bubble. We do it the only way we know how. Real and completely unleashed.
Fire the hole, fire the hole, fire the hole.
So lean in and let's go right now.
Give me a hell yeah.
Pickaxe Mountain. We'll be hitting that area probably pretty soon, and there's not a thing they can do about it. Normally I wouldn't say that. If I thought they could do something about it, I would never say that. But we'll be hitting that area pretty soon, and very heavily.
So he told everyone he's going to do it, and they can't do anything about it. What is he going to hit? So first, let's take a look at the Pickaxe Mountain complex. The ventilation shaft might be a good way in. That's where we went in to the Natanz nuclear complex there.
All right, 11 nights in a row. 11 nights in a row. Iran has been striking the United States of America, and we are striking back, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Wake up. We're broadcasting live at 104.3 FM. You can also check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. Take time and share it. Also, all the podcasts are available at Apple, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pandora, and so much more. Or you can just click one button and make it easy. DarylArnold.us. DarylArnold.us. DARRELL. Good morning. So you heard President Trump yesterday evening discussing we're going to continue hitting them and hitting them hard. Listen, I don't like war. I don't understand the craziness that goes on in the Middle East completely, but I do understand they're never, ever going to make a deal. And if they do, they will not follow the deal, and they will lie, and they will continue to lie about nuclear weapons and about everything else that comes up will be a 100% lie, unfortunately. And that's the way it rolls over there, okay? Well, we don't necessarily like that. I don't, but Trump knows exactly what needs to be done. Ventilation shafts, cave entrances, GBU 57 bunker busters, and the works. Of course, oil and gas is going up 17 cents in a week. I hate that. I really do. And I know the arguments. People are like, yeah, well, he needs to pay more attention to our country. But here's where we are now. Okay? Here's where we are now. We're in a pickle. If we don't finish this off, we're never going to get anywhere. They will continue to close down the Strait of Hormuz, which they've done again. Only 2 or 3 ships got through yesterday due to the screwery involved with Iran. Okay, because that's the only card they have left to play, ladies and gentlemen. They're running short on ammunition. They don't have many cards to play, but that is one that they still play every single day. Okay, every single day. This show is brought to you in part by Cypress Point Resort. That's cypresspointms.com. Mississippi Coding Academies, mscoding.org. Also brought to you by Mobility Medical on Lakeland Drive, Flowood, Jackson. That's mobilitymedicalinc.com. Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, serving central Mississippi with all of your electrical needs, including Generac, including Tesla, all of that stuff. And if you're looking, and we're always looking, due to the completely outrageous budget that this country has, I was watching the budget hearing yesterday, and due to the overspending by our government, I mean, nonstop, over $1 trillion in spending. $1 trillion. The secret war on cash is out. Now, that is a free report. No obligation. None of that. Please look into that. SwissAmerica.com/unleashed. SwissAmerica.com/unleashed. Not looking for your money, looking for you to read a free report. 6:40 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again for joining. We already have people checking in on the live feed and the live stream. If you're one of those people, good morning. And if you see it again, like I said, do us a favor, click a like button, click a share button, spread the word. And again, you don't have to watch this live. Also, it's live on YouTube right now at Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. And it's on the radio. And it's anywhere else you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, etc. You listen to it on your schedule. You listen to it on your schedule. We are continuing to bring on new sponsors. If you want your business spotlighted and you want more foot traffic and you want more business, you can call me directly at 601-918-8409. You can email me at darylarnoldms@gmail.com, or you can simply message me on one of the social media platforms. Today, there was another primary election in Arizona last night. Andy Biggs, along with all the other Trump-endorsed candidates, I believe it was like 3 or 4, won the primaries. Andy Biggs. I've always liked Andy Biggs. He's running against the ridiculous Democrat Katie for governor of Arizona. We got to get Arizona back solid red. They're big state when it comes to red or blue. They're a border state. It's another reason that it's so very important to get it, keep it, and do it red. President Trump also shouted out to Scott Pressler. That guy never sleeps. He's like Trump, just like him. He continues to sign people up to vote, register people, rather, get people registered all over this freaking country. The guy needs a trophy. He needs an award. I hope they're paying him well. Never seen anybody take up for the Save America Act, travel the country, do everything singly possible to get people to vote. I've just never seen anything like it. I like it, though. I love it. I want some more of it. I believe that's an old country song. But back to what we're just talking about. It's so very important, ladies and gentlemen. You get tired of me saying it. You get tired of everybody else saying it, but it's so very true. The Socialist Communist Party, the DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, are sweeping in and taking the under 30-year-old crowd because none of them know what, in fact, socialism really actually means. They just hear the good parts about it, but they can't tell you when asked, because I've done it plenty of times, they can't tell you what it actually means, how it actually affects their life every single day. Because believe me, it does. It will. It always will. Period. Once you get in, there's really no getting out. It is going to be extremely hard for them to turn this country into a socialist country. Okay. And that's the good news. Now, what's the bad news, you say? Well, the bad news is, yeah, I mean, there's no coming back. It would take centuries to come back. Okay, it would take centuries to come back. I had a little delay there, but it would take centuries to come back, ladies and gentlemen. If ever. If ever. That's just the truth. That is not fake news, by the way. That is the opposite of fake news. That is what will happen. Okay? That is what will happen. And it will happen on all of our watches. Not just my watch, your watch, everybody else's watch. All of our watches. Good morning to Russell McGee. Good morning to Russell McGuffey. McGee. Russell McGuffey, David Hall in the house. We also have Stephen SRS checked in over at YouTube. We have Nick checked in over at YouTube. Not sure your real name. What's going on, Nick in the house? Nick just said she was tuning in from Arizona. Wow. Good morning. It's like what, 4:45 a.m. there? You're up very early or you're still up. One of the two. You're up real early or still early. Or still late up. All right, so let's get back to it real quick here. We'll go through a quick outline and then we're going to jump and dive into some actual information here. Let's see. America, there's some thoughts I have here. America remains divided over the role of the federal government. They do, unfortunately. With immigration, election security, and economic policies. I encourage all my listeners to stay very informed. That is what I encourage you to do. Stay wide open, eyes wide open, ears wide open, and very, very informed, especially when it comes to border security, national debt, election integrity, and freaking crime. And that crime means the people of the United States, but also the leadership in D.C. Okay? Congress is racing now. And I don't know why they're waited. I don't know why they're racing towards August recess. They need to do their jobs. But they are racing right into August recess. The budget negotiations are still continuing. National defense funding, which I saw part of that incredibly stupid stuff they were doing to Pete Hegseth yesterday about funding the freaking military. The border enforcement updates. If you're down south, the Gulf Coast Weather Watch. Tropical storm Bertha. It doesn't look like it's going to hit us, but we always say the prayers for the people that it does. Would you pay a little bit more if it meant medicines were made in America? That's a question I had personally, me. Someone said, Daryl, would you pay a little bit more if your medicines were made in America? Probably. Probably so. Trump announces still more tariffs, this time on generic drugs. Donald Trump announced a package of tariffs on Tuesday, this time on generic drugs that are made overseas and will begin in 28. So I don't know, probably so, to answer the question. And thanks for the debate topic question, Christy. But yes, probably so. And will we continue to bring manufacturing home? Another question on my website. Yes, I really believe that, as long as Trump is in office and the red states have real governors with backbone. Yes. Reduce dependence on China. I don't know the answer to that, but I would definitely hope so. I would definitely hope so. But ICE made a record, that's ICE, baby, ICE, baby, made a record number of arrests in June. See, the numbers are always about a month behind. Interior enforcement continues increasing. Deportations remain a major, with all the ways that the Democrats, the socialists, the mayors like Mandami and the rest of the critics that, quote, hate ICE. I mean, they say that out loud, ladies and gentlemen. It still remains the major administration policy that we all freaking voted for. It's public safety, ladies and gentlemen. Federal immigration policy is screwed right now. Okay? It is screwed right now. And I've already gone over, I've made videos, I've done podcasts talking about showing ID to vote, just like it's required for any other activity during your day or night. So I am done with people taking up for not doing the Save America Act. You are wanting to cheat if you don't do it. Okay? Confidence in our elections depend on verifying your identification. And don't give me excuses about you got married, you can't get an ID, blah, blah, blah. You all know that's lies, because somehow you find a way to get that little ID so you can go hang out with your buddies at the bar. Okay? Or anywhere. The swimming pool. That's the truth. You know, look, I'm getting blown up here, but thank y'all for all that. Budget resolution, election integrity proposals are out there. Republican leadership is emphasizing unity in this voting thing, and they're going to fight it to the end. They are, including some of the so-called Republicans. Now, they're not real Republicans. If they were real Republicans, they wouldn't be fighting this. They are Democrats who ran as a Republican just so they could get voted in. And look how that's working out. ICE arrests hit record numbers. We should all be saying great, but instead we have people standing on their fake podiums screaming, crying, blaming. That's it. That's it. Are we finally seeing Washington, D.C. move on the issues that the voters have demanded now for years? I mean, maybe a couple, y'all, just a couple. But America first, border security, election integrity. That should be August's push. They shouldn't be kicking back, going into recess and going to, vacations in the Bahamas and crap. They should be handling business because we're down to that. We're down to that now at 6:54 a.m. Central Time in the morning on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. David Hall says, bottom line, we don't pay them to take vacations. We don't. We pay them to enact the will of the American people. Correct. And earlier, David Hall sent a message saying, hey, with regards to the socialists / communists, I like to quote from the great Thomas Sowell. How much is someone else's fair share of what I've had to work for, and who decides that? That's a great quote. The great Thomas Sowell. Insane, though. Insane. Well, I know this. You know this. They being the Democrat Socialists of America, as they call themselves, DSA, they will say and they will do anything to fool you. Pack of wolves. That's what they are, a pack of wolves. Another leader, so-called leader, of the Democrat Socialists of America makes a complete fool out of himself, showing peak ignorance, okay? Just dumb. Digs deeper. Darkins, which is a guy that goes around speaking with people, he digs deeper to understand the root causes of the rise of socialism. And really, all they're trying to do is make capitalism a villain. They fail to respond, though, because they don't understand it. Mainly the under 30-year-olds, let's be fair. They don't understand it. They respond accordingly, which makes zero sense. Devery Darkins, a black gentleman that hosts a conservative podcast, was showing a actual young fella who is a, quote, conservative, trying to get anything real out of a young gentleman in New York City about why they support socialism. Now, I'm going to warn you, you're going to feel really dumb after this. I mean, so dumb if you even listen to all of it. But I want you to listen to it because this is how far the younger generation is off from fact versus fiction versus a fantasy world that they're living in.
He asked one of the leaders of the Democrat Socialists of America to give your 60-second elevator pitch to America. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I saw a statistic, amazing for you guys. More than half of young Americans now prefer socialism over capitalism. So if you can look into the camera and give a 30-second elevator pitch on why socialism is better than capitalism.
Community. Are you tired of sitting alone and being by yourself and having no one to talk to? Be a socialist. It's all about community. It's about literally sitting down and having coffee with a random stranger and talking to them, talking about the game. Hell, I have hugged more strangers in this past summer because of the Knicks game, because of the World World Cup because socialism works. It's the watch parties that Zoran hosted. It's about the parties that we allow. We don't have cops hogging every single site and saying, oh, you can't be here because there's too many people. Instead of allowing people just being in their nature, a natural element of talking to each other, to bond over things we love and share.
Okay, so why does the World Cup exist or the New York Knicks game exist that you get to sit with your buddies and enjoy in your community? It's called capitalism. That's why.
Yeah. And the rest of the things that he was saying, isn't that what we do already? I mean, I don't know if he grew up in a prison in some other country, but we do that already in this country. We're free to do what we want. Anyway, that's how dumb, increasingly popular dumb too, which is, I just don't get it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand how anybody could quite be that dumb. Okay? I don't get it at all. How could you possibly be that dumb? Well, you know, it's like Zoran's having a party. We can go have coffee together. That's what socialism's about, really. You can't do that now? I mean, seriously? So when somebody says they are digging deeper into understanding the root cause of this, they don't know what they're talking about. The person they're talking to does not know what they're talking about. Sadly. Because that is sad, y'all. Identity politics. Okay? Identity politics. The vicious cycle of identity politics. That's what's going on. Because this has been going on so long. The truth is that identity politics is in the history of this country. You could fairly say that it was the basis of the Civil War. Ultimately, though, this obsession with group identity politics was actually rejected. It is fundamentally a primitive concept. It really is. And not an American one. Not at all. The American ideal, as stated in the Declaration of Independence and later reaffirmed in the civil rights movement of the 60s, has always been a colorblind society in which people are judged based on their merit and character. That is correct. But toxic ideas have a way of resurfacing. Identity politics is one of them. One of those ideas. The overriding question for those who embrace identity politics seems to be, who am I? Who am I? On its own, the question is, legitimate, but it easily comes very, very destructive when it depends that one group's based identity be recognized in law, corporate hiring, and other areas of public policy. Wow. Wow. That is a 100% true, in fact, statement, which brings us to the top of the hour. Okay.
Power 104.3 FM.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me.
The Pirate.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the tavern. The Tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the Safari Park and Petting Zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the Wedding Chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
The Mississippi Reunion Concert. Everyone has waited on, and we have it at Cameron's Garage. August 7th, Crossin' Dixon. This is the concert of the decades not to miss. Join us at Cameron's Garage for an evening of music. The Stevens Brothers Band will kick off the night at 5:30 p.m., followed by Crossin' Dixon at 8 p.m. Purchase your tickets in advance for $15 or at the door for $20 at cypresspointms.com. This will sell out. We cannot wait to see you there.
I've got Southern comfort running through my veins.
Support for these programs comes from Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, providing licensed electrical contracting services throughout Mississippi for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. Also installations, system upgrades, troubleshooting, and emergency electrical repairs. As certified installers for Tesla, charging systems, and a certified dealer for Generac backup power solutions, their team delivers safe, code-compliant workmanship with a commitment to precision and integrity. They are veteran-owned. Their phone number is 769-572-7597.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
Welcome back. 5 minutes after the top of the hour, Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. The name of the show is Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. Thanks again for joining us bright and early on a hump day, Wednesday, midweek madness. All right. You heard about the concert, August 7th, Jason Miller in his former band with Charlie and the crew. They were called Crossin' Dixon. The band was huge back in the day. Records, big record out, all that good stuff. Video, Southern Comfort, running through your veins, all that good stuff. They're performing live concert with the incredible and the incredibly popular Stevens Brothers. Will be opening the show on August 7th. cypresspointms.com, cypresspointms.com. Grab your ticket now. Don't wait. cypresspointms.com for tickets. Click on events. It's sitting right in your face when you do that. 7:07 in the morning. In the morning. So, yeah, we were discussing identity politics. That's exactly what has been going on for a while now. But it has gotten out of control. Identity politics, group identity. Now that group is DSA, Democrat Socialists of America. Okay? Democrat Socialists of America. This is not a good thing. This is not a good thing. You can't stop it, of course, because it is a free country. But they are listening to the wrong people. They are listening to the wrong people. The far left has spent years backing an entire generation of young men over into the dark corner, telling them that masculinity is toxic and shameful. That's what they've been telling them for years. So here's where we are on that as far as the young guys go. But even Bill Maher and Van Jones over at CNN are very upset that their once moderate Democrat Party has lost their freaking mind and turned into socialists. Van Jones at CNN, big time Democrat. He said they're not progressive, they're regressive. And words matter. They do. They do matter. And this is just what's happening, y'all, in the country right now.
I am tired of a set of people on the very far left in the Democratic Party. Ideas that are literally insane, nutty, moronic, dangerous, bigoted, are not progressive. They're regressive, and they should not be in our party.
I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. They say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism.
And this comes amid reports of tension between Bernie Sanders and Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader personally calling the socialist senator, telling him to stop meddling in Democratic primaries. But Sanders wasn't taking his orders. Over the weekend, Bernie teamed up with far-left Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El-Sayed for a campaign rally that was a doozy. Watch here.
Brothers and sisters, let me tell you, change is coming. Progressives have been defeating establishment candidates all across America. Now, brothers and sisters, the entire country is watching this election. So there's an enormous responsibility on your shoulders.
Harold.
Yeah, that's what's going on. That responsibility is on your shoulders. I agree with Bernie Sanders on that. You can vote for those foolish people, or you cannot vote for them. Please. Please. We go through enough trial and tribulations every single day in our life. We do right now. All of us, everyone, every human being. So the last thing we need is a freaking socialist / communist country. There's no coming back. They are progressing us over the edge of the cliff. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Real progress, not progresses of whatever they think it is, but real progress is the opposite of what they're pushing. It is time to destroy communism in America. We're not set up for that. We never were. Some could say, though, that Van Jones himself over at CNN, fake news, was part of the leftist cabal that started and opened the door for some of these lunatics. But he didn't have insane, socialist, communist, Islamic, all of that crazy stuff. Communism or bust is what they're saying. They're bumper stickers. Communism or bust. And truly, they're frauds. They're liars. The big tent creed. May be a little strange for you to agree with Van Jones on anything, but you're going to have to on this one. The Democrats have gone in saying there's no such thing as the regular old moderate Democrat, except one, John Fetterman. He's probably getting the hell out. Anyway, that's pretty strong when Bill Maher is abandoning their idiotic philosophy. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. Representative Nicole Malatakis, whose mother fled communist Cuba. Now she nails it right in front of the fake news face. They did their best to try to take it down, but it was too late. Too late. Because she's talking reality. She's telling the American people actual communist socialism reality. And she said, it doesn't matter what you call yourself. It's still coming from the playbook of Karl Marx. So we're going to play this clip from Representative Nicole Malatakis. And she actually knows from experience.
Themselves, but when you're taking pages out of the playbook of Karl Marx, pushing for abolishing private property rights and seizing the means of production, or Hugo Chavez in packing the Supreme Court, that's what you're going to get. So they can call themselves Democrat socialists, but the reality is that the Communist Caucus, the Commie Caucus, is coming to Congress. And it's going to be a rude awakening if we don't all pay attention. And that includes the press. Think about what's happened in those countries where they've had socialism and communism. The press is the first one to go. When they finally consolidate that power, the media is the first one to go, and it is a state-run media. So it's incumbent upon all of us to get the truth out there about the threats that we are facing as a country with these radical people that want to bring this horrific ideology here.
Yeah, I guess they don't realize that the press, there's no free press under communism. It's called state-run media like Iran has, okay? Or China, CCP, People's Republic of China. But people are lying to the younger generation. They don't understand any of that. They don't understand. They don't understand. The press is the first one to go with communism. The State Department issued a new report accusing the Cuban government of fostering decades-long anti-American network of left-wing activist organizations that have been right there in Cuba. Right there in Cuba. Who's paying them? Who's paying them? You know? And if you don't know by now what Barack Hussein Obama meant by saying hope and change, a commie douchebag. That's what he meant, because that's what he is. A leader in freedom, oppression, and Marxist doctrinating. That's what he did. That's what he is. Communism is also a failed, truly failed ideology. It's time to call it out. Everybody should be calling this out every day. Marxism, socialism, communism, all under the umbrella of straight up communism. Straight up Castro style. Hugo Chavez. Come on, y'all. Is that what you want for your kids and grandkids? Apparently, some people do. Apparently, some people actually do. You know, hate to beat a dead horse, but there's just so much crazy stuff going on in this country, in this world. So many things are coming out from the past, from 2020, that we knew about. A lot of us were talking about it then, and we were busting our tails every day trying to inform the American people as much as we possibly could. As much as we possibly could. But due to due to lack of election integrity in 2020, we got screwed. Okay? We did. And anybody can have their own opinion. It's a free country, and I highly believe that we got screwed. No one will ever convince me that Joe Blow Biden got that many votes. I'm sorry. Not going to happen. And you can say, you shouldn't be talking about 2020 anymore. It's 2026 now. Yeah. But it's a stark reminder, a very stark reminder, that the elections coming up will get tampered with. Okay? New Jersey's Democrat governor yesterday, she came out and she said, "Oh, I'm appalled at the thousands of illegal immigrants that were able to vote in the election from 2023 to 2024 as they found it on their, quote, voter rolls and their DMV, quote, rolls. We're just appalled." But then they're going to not air Donald Trump talking about election integrity. They're going to be quiet. Let's not talk about that. These people think we're fools. They think we're idiots. But guess what? We're not. We're not at all. What we are, though, is Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold on Wednesday, July 22nd, and we will be right back.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Visit msema.org and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
If you or a loved one need reliable medical equipment, trust a name Mississippi has depended on for over 20 years. Mobility Medical, located right in Flowood, is your local family-owned source for mobility and home healthcare solutions. From power wheelchairs and scooters to lift chairs that help you relax in comfort, they've got everything you need to stay independent and live better every day. Need help at home? Mobility Medical offers hospital beds, tables, and essential supplies, and more. What sets them apart? It's their personalized service. Their experienced team works one-on-one with you to find the right equipment. Serving all of Mississippi and beyond with in-store support and delivery options available. Mobility Medical, helping you move better, live better, and stay independent. Visit them today in Flowood or call to learn more.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go. in technology, and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
Yes, we're back. Boom. It is 7:24 in the morning. Check out this. Speaking of the old days.
War heats back up with Iran. And number one, update on the COVID cover-up in February 2021. Customs wanted to talk to a guy named Peter Dacek, a key figure in the Wuhan lab, as he was arriving back in the country. They're going to stop him at the airport in February of 2021 to talk to him, but the FBI intervened and said, hands off.
Biden's FBI.
Yes.
Hands off that guy.
Yes, don't talk
that
to
has
him.
all the information.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you really that surprised? Are you really that surprised? Unfortunately, no. But it just shows you how we were so screwed, which we were talking about right before we went to break. Just so screwed, ladies and gentlemen. Incredibly screwed that so many American citizens in this country voted one way only to get screwed. And now they don't want voter ID. I wonder why. I wonder why. We know why. We know exactly why. Oh my goodness, there are some crazy folks in the world. A video, and this is from the New York Post this morning. Video showing this is the husband turned in a cheating Nashville cop wife after finding a video of her having sexual stuff going on with her lover in a middle school. Wow. It's every day is something crazy. The husband of the cheating Tennessee police officer who filmed herself with another cop in the middle school. Dang. Found raunchy videos on the wife's phone and turned them into officials. And records show that Lisa Vidrios ended up resigning. Nope, she should have resigned quick. From the Metro Nashville Police Department after admitting hooking up to another or with another officer 4 times at the Madison Middle School, inside the school. Inside the actual school. Cray, y'all. Cray, people. Twisted text messages also. I bet. Lord have mercy. It's just nonstop, y'all. It is nonstop. Got a text message from Maria saying, "Hey, I'm rooting for the husband on this one." Yeah, me too. Me too. But it shows you that the times we're living in are different, ladies and gentlemen. Ain't no more Gen X stuff going on. But we have a bunch of great memories, don't we? And a bunch of great music, don't we? Yes, we do. We really, really do. we have a bunch of great music. Big time great music. I challenge anybody on the music thing. And that doesn't mean I don't like new music. So before you get your panties in a wad, there are some fantastic new artists out there. I get to see some of them perform. I really do. Yesterday, Trump called out one of the, of course, ridiculous reporters. As usual, he said, "Do you know something I don't know?" President Trump calls out questioning whether Iran will stop attacking U.S. allies, insisting Tehran desperately wants to meet. But, of course, the fake news people, they only want the gotcha moments. That's the way it works nowadays, especially when Trump is involved. And it doesn't really matter what network anymore, for the most part. There are independent networks that are, better at their job. But other than that, no, it doesn't matter anymore. Okay.
Iran is ready to stop fighting. So what is the plan? Is the plan to just keep bombing until they give up?
There are no signs. What, you know something that I don't know?
Will they continue to attack our allies and
You
kill
don't know
Americans?
what the dialogue is behind the scenes, that they want to meet desperately to try and end it because they're getting decimated. You don't get that when you listen to your fake station, but
Mr. President.
You don't get that when you listen to your fake station. Of course you don't. But they're begging, y'all. Of course they're begging. They're running out of everything. They're running out. And of course, that was ABC News, as usual.
there are no signs. What, you know something that I don't know?
Will they continue to attack our allies and
You
kill
don't know
Americans?
what the dialogue is behind the scenes, that they want to meet desperately to try and end it because they're getting decimated. You don't get that when you listen to your fake station, but you don't know anything.
They don't know anything. They're always on a fishing expedition, a gotcha moment, a fake news moment, something they can turn, twist, anything. That's what these people do for a living. Lie, connive, manipulate. All of that. That's what they do. That's what they do. I love it the way he says, "Do you know something I don't know?" I mean, he's the freaking president. Of course she doesn't. She does not have a clue. She doesn't. President Trump, after he released all of the declassified intel from 2020 and the mainstream media started bedwetting and panicking, for years they called us crazy. They did. Now that the receipts are out, foreign actors were absolutely 1,000% targeting our elections, and the deep state knew it. Okay. Let that sink in. Here's a couple of the new declassified documents. China, the CCP, got their hands on a staggering 220 million U.S. voter files. The intel community was literally fighting internally over whether China was actively trying to take down Trump. But we all know Beijing wanted him out because he was the toughest president on China in history. Russia and Iran. These docs also confirm these countries were running massive operations to interfere with all of it, with Iran even spoofing emails to the United States voters to sow absolute chaos. And of course, Absolutely, of course. The intel agencies are still trying to push the tired narrative that Russia preferred Trump. Go away. Shut up. Hush it. Naturally, the establishment is still clinging to their favorite talking point that no votes were actually changed. But the facts are freaking undeniable. They're all up at whitehouse.gov now. Go read it yourself. We were completely exposed by foreign enemies who were heavy meddling. And they were pulling out all stops to interfere. Trump was right again. Let it sink in. Shut your mouth. And it's funny how New Jersey's governor yesterday, all of a sudden, said there was 6,600 non-citizens registered to vote, and she was appalled. Whatever. Okay? Whatever. The question is, the biggest question, what are we gonna do about it? What are we gonna do about it? Nothing again? I know we try. But the pathetic people that don't back Trump on all this should be backing Trump. I hope they sleep well at night. I hope they sleep well at night. Ricky Schlott examines how greedflation, not inflation, has become the far left's new boogeyman. Okay. I'm going to run that by y'all one more time. Ricky Schlott explains right here on the show how greedflation has become the far left progressive Democrat Party's brand new boogeyman. Okay? Boogeyman.
New favorite boogeyman, greedflation. It's a way for them to blame corporations for rising prices while ignoring the inflationary consequences of their own policy. Corporations can be exploitative and sometimes price things unfairly. However, it's an absolutely crazy concept to suggest that just suddenly in the past couple years, corporations discovered greed. Instead, we're living through a period where, quite recently, our politicians did a bunch of very inflationary things that are bad for the economy and were inevitably going to make prices go up, such as indiscriminate spending on stimulus and also artificially lowering the interest rate. But politicians don't want to talk about that because it's much snappier and more engaging to talk about greedflation, to make it sound like these corporate villains in boardrooms are raising prices on innocent Americans. In all reality, greed is constant, but inflation is not, and blaming the former for the latter makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah. We're sitting where we are because of the Biden administration, at least probably forever. Probably forever. The propaganda media is the enemy of the people. And the fourth branch is the deep state, y'all. That's the fourth branch. Now, I don't know if that lady was a Democrat or a Republican, and I really don't care. But she is correct on that. She really is. So, a couple of the committees, Senate committees, were exposing the Smithsonian National Museum American History director and playing compilations of her own remarks, which is pathetic, implying that Americans are illegitimately occupying their own country. Now, this person, y'all, is the director of the National Museum of American History. How freaking pathetic. How freaking pathetic is that? Unfortunately, that's true. That is true. And this audio speaks for itself.
The many examples of politicization of the museum are well documented in the comprehensive report the White House Domestic Policy Council recently issued on July 4th, the nation's 250th anniversary. The report makes clear that the museum's woke exhibits and materials reflect a broader vision held by the museum leadership, particularly its director, Dr. Aletha Hartig, who is here today with us. Dr. Hartig proudly takes credit for changing the museum's mission statement, which no longer uses the term American history or refers to the infinite richness of that history. The museum is now guided by an interpretive plan that ensures all topics focus on the core issues of our time. And do we want to guess what they are? Race and identity, gender and sexuality, environmental change, immigration and migrations, and
Yep, that's all they want to do is really honestly change history. And they started out doing that by professors, teachers, activists, Marxists, social activists like Barack Hussein Obama, all of those people. That's what they did. That's what they did. That's what they continue to do. It's exactly what they continue to do today, every day. But why do these people keep putting the morons in these positions? Why? Insane leftists turning our most prestigious national institutions into an absolute joke? What in the hell is wrong with y'all? And the director's own words in that hearing, or that whatever you want to call it, are doing more than an investigation will ever have to do. Okay? I really hope at the end of this crap show that this chick, this woman, is canned and ran out of town. Good God Almighty. It's enough to make your stomach turn. It really is. It's enough to make your stomach turn on a Hump Day Wednesday. We'll be right back.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Support for these programs comes from Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, providing licensed electrical contracting services throughout Mississippi for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. Also installations, system upgrades, troubleshooting, and emergency electrical repairs. as certified installers for Tesla, charging systems, and a certified dealer for Generac backup power solutions, their team delivers safe, code-compliant workmanship with a commitment to precision and integrity. They are veteran-owned. Their phone number is 769-572-7597.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
And it is 7:44 a.m. Central Time on July 22nd. Next segment is sponsored by our friends over at Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, Central Mississippi. They also deal with Generac Systems, Tesla, all your electrical needs. The service manager over there is Clayton Pell. Give him a call. Stop in. Pearl, Mississippi, a local electrical solutions and electrical services. We were talking about the disgusting National Museum. The head of the National, how is this lady, Smithsonian's National Museum, American History Director? That's the big question. How in the hell did that happen? This level of institutional derangement. I guess we thought this was confined to Canada. Apparently not. Apparently not. Something is very wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Something is very wrong. W-R-O-N-G, wrong. Bunker busting, a headline this morning. The precision strike tactics to penetrate Iran's deeply buried Pickaxe Mountain nuclear facility. Looks like they're trying to get into the opening up the shaft, and then you follow it up with another rocket, right on top of that. So these are some of the things that they're going to have to do if they're wanting to handle the remainder of Iran's nuclear program. That's just coming through the wire. So anyway, back to this ridiculous lib, the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian National Museum, ladies and gentlemen. What in the world is going on? Seriously. Another Democrat showing peak ignorance. Really? The party hijacked everything. It just did. It hijacked every single thing. Unfortunately. But I just still want to know how somebody gets this job. And Representative Brandon Gill was the best. He said, can you help me square why your organization says that being polite to people is part of being a white supremacist? Question mark. I mean, what is wrong with these people and their identity politics? These just DEI Democrat, just nasty people.
Yes,
Is it important to be polite?
excuse me, sir?
Is it important to be polite?
Yes, sir.
It's also interesting because the same mass action toolkit that your organization has been promoting references politeness as a defining characteristic of white supremacy culture. Ma'am, are you a white supremacist?
No, sir.
You're not. Can you help me square why your organization says that being polite is part of being a white supremacist?
I'm not exactly familiar with that passage of the Mass Action Toolkit, which is not
I can show you the
one that we
passage. It's right
developed.
here.
I don't, pardon me?
I said I just read you the passage from it.
What's wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? I mean, this is the Smithsonian National Museum of American History, and they're trying to change it. That's what they're doing. In accordance to restoring truth and sanity to American history. That's what Trump, the POTUS, which is Donald J. Trump, is restoring truth and sanity to American history. The founders quoted the Bible more than any other book. Okay? Any other. Thomas Paine's Common Sense was one of the most influential texts of the founding era. On the 250th anniversary of the nation, he said, hey, well, first of all, we're talking about another person speaking with this idiotic lady at the Smithsonian. He went to the bookstore, couldn't find Common Sense. How about that?
Most influential book in American history.
So if I may go back to your second
What
question.
would you say is most influential book in
May I
American
go back to your second question?
history? You can answer the one I just asked you.
Well, as a historian, it's probably hard to choose which is the most influential book in the United States history, but I can tell you what's the most influential document, and that is the Declaration of Independence, which appears in different ways
Most
at least
influential
4 or
book.
5 times.
The founders
in-
quoted one book more than any other book.
The founders were very well read, and as you know, Thomas Jefferson's library became the core of the Library of
Yes,
Congress.
and that book would have been the Bible. Secondly, would have been Common Sense by Thomas Paine. Now, I went to the bookstore. I couldn't find Common Sense in the bookstore. I did find, these books. Here's George Takei. It rhymes with Takei. A book in which he talks about, one young man lusting after another. I'm not sure why this is in our American History Museum in the kids section, mind you. That's you think is important to have it in the American History Museum?
So George Takei, as you know, the actor from Star Trek, was incarcerated during World War II as the result of Executive Order 9066.
Hey,
and his children's book, I think, is a beautiful
who made the decision
story.
to put that in there, but not Common Sense?
Why is she not fired? I mean, I'm going to say it one more time. I'm calling for her to be fired. These people continue to ruin American history purposely. Right in your face and right in my face. Right in your face. Congress has the authority to appoint the board at the Smithsonian. I'm thinking. I don't know that for sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. But right now, Congress is a friggin' mess. This is a message. What up, brother? It all started when they failed to rule. Obama was not a natural citizen. Yeah. That is when it started. But they're trying to eradicate Christianity just like the rest of the socialists. Just like the rest of the Muslim, Islam fanatics. I don't mean all of them. There's a lot of Christians that are fanatics. I don't mean all of them. But if they believe in the true way of Islam, women, you're in trouble because they already hate you. These are sinful servants like this lady, though. It's nothing to do with Islam. She's just a sinful servant, a non-believer. A non-believer. She also stumbled, of course, when asked basic questions about biological sex and gender. It just doesn't make sense. She repeatedly declined to directly answer the questions. I mean, y'all, this country is in trouble. Please stand up. Please teach your kids. Please know their teachers. Get involved with their school activities, but mainly get involved with their homework, what they're learning. Please.
I'm moving on because I don't know how much money you spent on getting prepped for this hearing. They did a good job because you're filibustering and not answering a single question from a single Republican today. Do you believe that men can become women?
Ma'am, as the director of the museum, that's not relevant in this case.
It's very relevant. You've got men dressed up as women and you have them on displays in front of kids. Do you think men can become women? Yes or no?
So RuPaul's Drag Race, which is the upper...
It's a man. RuPaul is a man who dresses like a woman, literally.
Correct.
What is a woman, Dr. Hartig?
As a director and as a historian, it's not my opportunity.
You sexualize the American History Museum. So this is a fair question. What is a woman?
So at the museum...
What is a woman?
We strive to represent and not categorize all Americans.
Okay, I have another question for you. There's a glossary at the museum that informs visitors that while American culture traditionally recognizes 2 genders, other countries recognize 3 or more. So enlighten me this morning. How many genders are there?
Ma'am, which glossary?
This is a display, and that has a glossary that says other countries recognize 3 or more genders. So I would like you to enlighten me today. You're the director of the American History Museum who's sexualized things in front of kids. I want to ask you, how many genders are there?
So first of all, I'm happy to get
How
back
many?
to you about the glossary.
How many genders are there?
Sure.
And what are they?
I'm not sure which glossary you're speaking of.
Of course, I know that you don't. You know exactly what this hearing was about today. One of your exhibits at the American History Museum says sometimes gender isn't revealed at birth. So when is gender revealed?
So
when was your gender revealed to you, Dr. Hartig?
So I don't really think that's relevant to the
It is relevant.
conversation,
You have a
ma'am.
display at the American History Museum talking about gender isn't always revealed at birth. So
These are lunatics running the National Smithsonian History of Our Country Museum. It can't be, this cannot be acceptable. This cannot be acceptable. They're highly educated, so they're not freaking retarded. Or are they? She probably makes $1 million a freaking year. I would say stay away from any person that can't tell a male from a female. Because it's dangerous. That's why. No other reason. She is a left-wing, local liberal, woke ideology running the Smithsonian National Museum of History, sadly. Have these people, every week we say, have these people really lost it this bad? Yeah, they have. She's incompetent because she won't even discuss the gender. Okay? She must agree with Talarico over in Texas, Talarico, that there's 6 genders, apparently. And if you can't answer what a woman is or acknowledge biological sex, you do not have any business running the Smithsonian National Museum of History. That's Daryl's take on that. And that does take us to the top of the hour on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. You have been listening to Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. DarylArnold.us simplifies it. You can pick any player for the podcast. DarrellArnold.us. See ya.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unapologetic, America First Talk at its best. Where we party the right way. See you next time, or else.